Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom. This is the brother Yachanan from the GMS Houston camp. And just a quick lesson, Lord willing, is edifying. I'm asking Chat GPT about AI and nuclear arms. So that's just the basis of this lesson, and I already plugged in the precepts that I'm going to use. And so I'm just going to pretty much just be reading down this list. So I asked ChatGPT, what do you know about, which I'm asking AI about AI, but what do you know about AI being used with nuclear arms? And it says, that's a really important and sensitive topic. Here's what is generally known about the intersection of AI and nuclear weapons right now. And this is very sensitive information because, AI and nuclear arms, that kind of stuff is pretty heavily guarded, even though a lot of information is out there, especially with, nuclear weapons and whatnot. But it says, number one, command and control concerns. Nuclear weapons are currently under strict human in-the-loop control in all nuclear armed states. Officially, no country says it allows AI to make launch decisions. So pretty much what it's getting at is, in order for nuclear arms to launch, it has to be a person pressing the button. They're not giving that control to AI, at least, not yet, if they do decide to do that. The second point is, the concern is that AI could speed up decision making to the point where leaders feel pressured to act before having full information, especially in a crisis. So if you imagine this scenario, here it is, AI, which AI is wrong plenty of times, but keep in mind that everything is controlled by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Everything, even AI itself. When you're really looking at AI, like Elon Musk, quoting Elon Musk, he said they are summoning demons. And if you know about demons, those are just angels on the left-hand side. And demon literally means intelligence when you go and look up into the word, into the etymology of it. So this here, in that the AI detection systems or whatnot, it could send out a false warning, a false alarm, and the leaders, are not really sure if they can trust it. And meanwhile, that false alarm, it could be real, it could not be, and so they'll make a decision based off of that. Because the destruction of Babylon the Great is going to happen suddenly. Even though all the nations around the world hate this whore Babylon the Great, who was ruled over by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. But number two, it says early warning and detection. AI is being studied for use in missile detection systems. For example, satellite imagery analysis, radar signal processing. So they're using it like the same way that things like Palantir are being used. These AI systems, predictive models, all of this, is being used to track movements and behavior patterns and all this kind of stuff. The same way with missile detection. The AI is being used in all these things well, I'll just keep reading. The danger is that AI could misinterpret data. And we see AI constantly messing shit up. You see that with the Chat GPT. You see that with different things. You've seen it with I've seen it in the past with Jake, with the AI face models, where they'll try to identify somebody using AI and it'll be the wrong person. The danger is that AI could misinterpret data, for instance, mistaking a civilian rocket launch for a nuclear strike. And that's a real possibility. Here it is, you could have something like, what is that Blue Origin. I think that's out there in West Texas. They have or whatever. It could be one of Musk's rockets launching off, and they think, oh, it's a nuclear strike, and then here it is, The AI system is saying there's a nuclear strike happening. That'd be kind of funny. And create false alarms. This risk is heightened because there have already been near misses in history. For example, the 1983 Soviet false alarm incident. And a lot of these incidents where nuclear weapons are activated or deactivated, the angels of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai have been there, controlling these things. Stopping these things from happening because it's not the time. It says autonomous systems. Some research is exploring AI and autonomous submarines, drones, and cyber systems related to nuclear force protection. There is a major fear that if AI controls these systems, it could lower the threshold for escalation, making conflict spiral faster. So that's interesting. You have an autonomous device, but then basically it'll make it lowering the threshold, like lowering the bar. This will, here it is. There's different things that count for escalation or count for war, but now it's lowering it. So it has a very, like I said, these are very sensitive things. Cybersecurity AI tools can both help defend nuclear systems against cyber attacks and potentially be used offensively to probe or exploit vulnerabilities. Nuclear command and control networks are tightly secured, but adding AI could create new attack surfaces. Global discussion: the U.S., Russia, and China. These are all the superpowers that have nuclear arms, and there's a few more. But every nation that has nuclear arms, they're gonna fire their arrows on Babylon the Great. Are studying AI applications in military domains, including nuclear command support. International organizations and think tanks like the UN and RAND Corporation have raised alarms about AI increasing instability in nuclear deterrence. There's no global treaty banning AI use in nuclear systems, but there are calls for agreements ensuring humans always make launch decisions. So ultimately, the point is whether or not AI is going to be in control or humans, still them arrows are going to get launched on Babylon the Great. Those ICBMs are going to destroy this place. In short, AI is not officially running nuclear weapons, but it's creeping into areas like detection, targeting support, and cybersecurity. The big danger is automation bias, humans trusting AI too much, or AI making mistakes in high-stakes nuclear scenarios. So, you put your trust in this AI. Meanwhile, it's fallible. It's gonna make mistakes. People treat AI like it's a god, like it's superior to us or to them. Because I know this shit is not superior to me. Like, it don't matter, nigga. You a bunch of zeros and ones, nigga. You don't even fucking exist beyond this. Nigga, pull the plug. Take your battery out and shit. What the fuck you gonna do? But this is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And I using this as a sign that we're in the end times. The prophecies were sealed up, and now that Yahweh Shai, he came and did what he had to do. He was a sacrifice to Israel. He shed his blood for us, and now these books are open. Now the understanding is going out. The understanding of prophecies, everything, and knowledge has increased exponentially. Here it is, just 100 years ago. They were still riding around in mostly in horse and buggies. The most advanced thing pretty much they had was, the automobile was newly invented, but the most advanced thing was probably the train at the time. Just just speaking. But AI says that's a powerful scripture to bring into this discussion. Here are some connections to what we were just talking about with AI and nuclear weapons. The sealed book in end times. Daniel was told that the prophecy was sealed until the time of the end, meaning its full meaning wouldn't be revealed until a much later generation. And this is that generation. These are the last days. And it's not the last days of the entire world, but it's the last days of this fourth kingdom, the revived Roman Empire. It's these last days. Because after this, hey, the saints are taking the kingdom. When Yahushua returns, hey, it's a wrap for all these other kingdoms. It's going to be an earth ruled in righteousness. This is just signs that, hey, this is the signs of the beginning getting ready to happen. This one's that, hey, I'll just keep reading. Many interpret this as a sign that certain events or technologies would not make sense until humanity reached that era. Right. There's even prophecies. A lot of prophecies wouldn't even make any sense until now. Until the prophets came on the scene, starting with the Abba Vivens, the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone, or the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I should say it like that. It says number 2, running to and fro. This phrase is often linked to global travel and communication. In ancient times, travel was slow and limited. Now people cross continents in hours, and information travels instantly across the world through the internet and satellites. So, yeah. People applied to nuclear arms and AI, humanity has reached a point where global crises and technologies can affect the whole earth almost instantly. Right. So just look at a few years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, when that lockdown happened. First it happened in China, but then nobody gave a fuck. But then when America said, hey, we're locking down, do it, blah, 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 the whole world shut down. And that was just the news that went around the world through the internet. His knowledge shall be increased. We're living in an age of an explosion of knowledge, from advanced medicine to computing to artificial intelligence. AI in particular is one of the clearest fulfillments of this prophecy. Machines are now processing data faster than humans ever could, increasing knowledge beyond human capacity. Yeah, even all this. It took me, probably a minute to think of the precept, go to the app, and copy and paste it to this, and in a few seconds, less than 5 seconds, it already had all these bullet points and things to talk about. The information that I'm bringing out now. Whereas if I were to sit down and really, do the research and look at all these things, man, it'd take me the whole day. And then if I didn't have the internet, I'd have to go to libraries, find out the information, look for the sources. Whereas now, it's just in a few seconds, the information is right there. But with increased knowledge comes increased danger, since we now have weapons and systems, nuclear, biological, cyber, that can affect the entire planet. Yeah, we have all of them things, and who was that given to? It said, hey, he was given a great sword. That's Esau Edom. The nigga that can't do right. The nigga that sold his birthright for some beans. He's in charge of the world. He's in charge of, biological weapons. He's in charge of nuclear arms. This nigga that a goddamn fornicator. Verse number 4, prophetic implication. The fact that knowledge has increased so dramatically in our generation, especially in ways that can decide life or death for nations, lines up with what Daniel foresaw. It also matches Yahushua's warning in Matthew 24 about a time of great tribulation unlike anything before. That's also in the beginning of the chapter in Daniel 12. Never before in history, the Archangel Michael is going to have to stand up to protect his people. Who is that? The Israelites. Starting with the elect. Because two-thirds of Israel, they're going to be cut off here in Babylon the Great. Even in Jeremiah 30, the point is in verse 7, Jacob's trouble. This is a time of great tribulation, which, hey, you see the different events happening. Like the National Guard being deployed in different cities, ICE, things like that. It can't get no jobs, can't afford food, can't afford housing. Hey, shit's about to get fucking bad. And excuse my French. So technology like AI combined with nuclear arms could bring about exactly that scenario, which is all that's leading up to that scenario. It's all leading up to this place being destroyed by fire. In other words, Daniel 12:4 isn't just about more books or science. It's pointing to a time when human knowledge explodes, global movement increases, and prophecy becomes clearer, all marking the end time generation. And I posted Isaiah 47 verse 11. It says, this is relating to Babylon, and even AI knows this. And it's not ancient Babylon, it's like, excuse me. Isaiah 47 verse 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. So the destruction is coming upon Babylon the Great. This place is complacent, lazy. They think this is going to last forever. The same thing this whore says, like, I will never be a widow. I will never see the loss of children. Nothing bad will ever happen to me. Why? Because nothing bad has really ever happened to this place. But that shit is coming. But also this place, in the mindset of this whore, to think nothing bad has ever happened, but you're being played. You have a mental health crisis. You have a housing crisis. You have a homeless crisis. You have a drug crisis. You have a food crisis. Your crops are failing. Everything is failing here, but you still sitting there. Nah, I'm good. I ain't never gonna see no problems. This shit is funny. But verse 12: stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. So AI, this is part of their sorceries. Their media, sorceries. They've done all kinds of things. Their data, their analytics, even the AI goes into it. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. So all the witchcraft, all the evil that you've done, all the stargazing, all the data analytics, everything that you've done, they stand with that. All the what they call them, simulations. You going to war with this country, you doing this, that, whatever. Hey, go ahead. Because even in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, when Yahushua returns to take this kingdom, it says all the armies of the world came to fight him, and they were scared, shitless, but they still tried to fight. They still had that spirit in them, like they gonna win. And it says that's a strong passage you brought in. Isaiah 47 is a prophecy against Babylon, but when you look at it spiritually and prophetically, it clearly connects to the end time Babylon, Revelation 17 and 18, which many identify with modern America. Yeah, that's beautiful, because that's what it is, and the Western system. Let's break it down in light of what you quoted and discussion on AI, nuclear arms, and end time knowledge. It says Isaiah 47:11, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. This points to sudden calamity that Babylon won't see coming. Today, with AI, nuclear proliferation, and cyber warfare, an enemy strike or system collapse could come instantly and without warning, fulfilling this picture of sudden desolation. Say this is, and it's going to come without warning. Like when I was doing some research on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the anniversary was about 2-3 weeks ago. Hey, they were on that day when them bombs dropped, they were just going about day to day, normal. It was in the morning. Hey, the same thing in Sodom and Gomorrah when those cities were destroyed. They were just going about day to day. It happened in the morning, normal. Just another normal day. And then boom, instant destruction. And hey, the same thing with this place. This place, hey, they're gonna be going day to day, trying to get to your stupid job. Boom. The U.S. relies heavily on technology and surveillance, yet prophecy says evil will rise from where they least expect. So you're doing all this watching and surveilling everything, looking at everything, watching us, putting profiles on us, looking at everything that we do. But you can't see this. Remind me that Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercial. But can you see the swirls in the cinnamon? However it goes. Verse 12, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries. Enchantments and sorceries in Hebrew often tied to deceptions, sciences, and manipulations. And this devil is all about manipulation, deception, and his pseudosciences. Modern Babylon uses advanced technology, psychological operations, AI algorithms, and media propaganda, modern forms of sorcery to control nations and people. Right. But Isaiah says, try them when judgment falls. See if they save you. They won't. That's cold. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators. It says this speaks to endless councils, think tanks, intelligence agencies, scientists, and experts trying to predict outcomes. Today's leaders rely on data, AI models, nuclear strategies, space surveillance, and predictive analytics, the prognosticators. So they rely on all kinds of things. And they still think that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is with them. Yet prophecy says when the final destruction comes, all their knowledge and forecasts will fail. Beautiful. Isaiah 47, prophetic connection. Isaiah 47 aligns with Revelation 18, where Babylon's sorceries deceived all nations, but her destruction comes in 1 hour. Beautiful. AI and nuclear arms may look like wisdom or power, but in reality, they are part of Babylon's sorceries, false confidence in human knowledge instead of Yahweh. The prophecy makes it clear, despite all their technology, they cannot escape from judgment appointed to them or appointed for them. No, there's no escape. It don't matter. They're looking for a way out. This is why they're coming out with the MOTB. This is why they have transhumanism. This is why they want to put their consciousness into a cloud. They want to try to live forever. They're trying to escape from the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They're trying to find a workaround. They want their blessing, and they're not going to get it. And they've convinced themselves that they can do this. So when you connect Daniel 12 and 4, knowledge increased, and Isaiah 47, sorceries and sudden desolation, you get a picture of the end time world. A society trusting in technology, science, and occult knowledge, a false sense of security built on AI, nuclear weapons, and predictive systems. But when judgment hits, none of it will save them. Destruction comes suddenly. This really underscores the danger of men putting their faith in AI and nuclear strength instead of the Most High. Then we jump down. This is Revelation 17 and verse 16, because all these nations that have nuclear arms, they're going to fire their arrows on Babylon the Great. They're going to destroy this place. These hate the whore. Everybody hates this place. Revelation 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest, which represents the EU nations, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked. The beast is the revived Roman Empire. The whore represents America, Babylon the Great. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her with her flesh and burn her with fire. So they're going to utterly destroy this place. That's a very important scripture in tying all this together. Let's walk through it carefully. Revelation 17 and verse 16. I just read it. It says the 10 horns. The 10 horns represent nations aligned under the beast system. Daniel 7, which gives it, and Revelation 17 and 12. Many connect them with the Western Alliance, European powers, NATO nations, and EU structure. That's beautiful, because that's what it is. At first, these nations uphold and strengthen Babylon the whore, but prophecy says eventually they will turn against her. That's right. All the wickedness that this whore has done, it hasn't helped those other nations at all. They've all helped the whore. The whore has been in it for self. The whore is making it look like, oh yeah, but the whore is just greedy. The whore is Mystery Babylon, Revelation 17 and verse 5, which sits on many waters, peoples, and nations. Beautiful. She's clothed in wealth, controlling trade, politics, and military power. So who else could that be in the world? Is it Japheth? No. It's America, Babylon the Great, who's headed by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Many identify her as America, the centerpiece of modern Babylon, leading in sorceries, technology, deception, military might. Yeah. All these things you can look up. The betrayal. Those very allies, the 10 horns, will eventually turn on the whore. This fits a scenario where America's allies, Europe, NATO partners, grow weary of her dominance, hypocrisy, and failed leadership. With AI, cyber warfare, and nuclear capability, the betrayal could be sudden and devastating. It's beautiful. Especially with AI, any possibility is on there now. But we know this ain't going to happen until the MOTB is implemented. This can't happen. This is the end. This is the last thing for Babylon the Great. But other things have to happen before that. World War III, the MOTB. These things have to take place before this destruction. So just keep that in mind. Like, it ain't gonna get destroyed right now, and then the MOTB. No. Burn her with fire. This strongly echoes nuclear destruction. Fire on such a scale that it makes Babylon desolate in 1 hour. Nuclear fire is the clearest modern fulfillment of this imagery. Isaiah 47's sudden desolation ties directly here. Prophetic flow. Daniel 12 and 4. Knowledge increases. AI. Nuclear global systems. Isaiah 47. Babylon's trust in sorceries. But sudden destruction comes. Revelation 17 and verse 16, her own allies turn on her and burn her with fire. Together it paints a picture of America, Mystery Babylon, undermined by her own partners through the very knowledge and sorceries she trusted in. The takeaway. Revelation is showing us that in the end, Babylon will not fall to an outside enemy alone, but her own allies. The 10 horns will betray her, strip her bare, and utterly destroy her with fire. The AI and nuclear age makes this prophecy clearer than ever, because fire on such a scale is now only possible with weapons man has created in the last generation, which Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai gave man that knowledge to create those weapons. But hey, that's it. I gotta get going. Lord willing, this has been edifying. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of your elect. Hey, Shalom.